Righty-ho. I hate taking films of me sitting in my van. I'm too sexy for my van. Right, to the point. So quickly. Not thought through. But in fact, van. Right, I've lived in a van for 3 years, having been gentrified out of my previous, less expensive location. It's beneficial down here. It's a bit warmer on average. Right, to the point. But I've been listening to somebody talking, a woman, talking about men, woman. Although I prefer to term it WO/man. And I'm going to try and write about this better. Quite simply, though, the socio-economic legal structure of this country and most of Europe is still that it is cheaper for a couple of people to live together. And I believe the census came up with something like 96% still think of coupling up in terms of heterosexual couplings. None of my business. Right, to the point. Van. Actually, I'm quite glad that I remembered this. I've met over the last nearly couple of years 3 or 4, 5 actually, women from the age of 22 to 65 actually, who live full-time in vans, and they can do it just as adequately, just as joyfully. Nomadland is a con. Those people who live in vans, and this is, I actually don't like to say I live in a van. Living in a van, it's not about some great big romantic I'm free thing, because you aren't really. It's like really quite hard to park up in this region. But you always wake up in the morning, no matter what. Even if you're hungry and cold, you wake up bright-eyed, always. And Nomadland turned it into something else, which is false, because if I meet a van woman, or a woman who temporarily or long-term lives in a van, I know one who's same age as me, and she's lived in her van about 4 years. She's got a big one. But anyway, they know, you can tell, I can tell when I meet them that they are of this internal setting. Hey, I will just always have bright eyes and always find the positive side too. I mean, quite a few mornings I actually have woken up here. Anyway, to the point. Yeah, I'm going to try and do something about, well, I'm just going to call it sexual politics now, I've decided. For years I've been monitoring, I've been listening, I've been occasionally watching. I haven't had a television for 25 years. And my daughter thought I was okay. In fact, let me just put this in, because it's not a competition. But when she started to have her, what do they call them? Phantom periods, a bit earlier than everybody else in her school. She lived with her awful, smelly man-dad for 10 years. Yeah, she told me before. I mean, it was disturbing her immensely. She told me before she told the mother. Anyway, that's not why I turned this on. The reason I turned this on, I've forgotten now, is there is a specific reason. Apart from the fact that for 15 years I've had many conversations with good, feet on the ground women, my age group, sometimes younger, and so many people are in a mess with all of that. I want to, before I expire, I want to try and get something better out on all of that. And I'm not going to attract any collaborators via this, because I'm coming over as decidedly wonky. I'm talking while I'm trying to remember why I turned this on. I mean, apart from anything else, yes, your housing expenses are lower over a period of time. The thing I despair about more than anything, I don't actually like the word marriage, but partnering up is long term so important for various reasons, and I'm trying to jot those coherently, although I've been speaking about them and jotting on my other website, which is a slightly poetical, Proustian phantasmagorical load of I like writing. Why have I actually turned this on? There was a specific reason, not to demonstrate that I have Alzheimer's, which I don't. When I wake up in the morning, my memory is dead sharp. I think it slipped my mind. Oh well. I'm going to put another page here in a week or two that I'm working on. I'm refining it. The page already exists and the link will be here. I have no idea if anybody actually reads my output seriously. I do not have the time. I only ever have spurts of an hour of the computer working. Or rather, the battery charged up. But I've got to work on that. It's got to change soon. No, it's not coming back. And it usually does. Oh well, I shall have to turn this off. Men can be domestic too. That is 50 years old. But that's just a kind of jokey refrain of mine. I'm very domestic. I know where every single item is in this vehicle. 2, I could be blindfolded and I know where every single item is. It's kept just clean enough. That looks like a mess, but my seat's falling to bits. Over and out for now. I'll probably remember what it was and have to add it in notes.